It's Wednesday.
I should have picked a shirt that kind of matched yours. You put that on and I thought, oh, look at it, sort of like Easter and spring.
I was wearing a workout shirt yesterday, and you looked like you were going to a job interview at a hipster coffee shop.
True.
So it feels like, payback is...
I'm mixing it up every day.
Good. What's the
Some
saying?
days I leap out of... What?
Fair play. Payback is fair play?
All's fair in love and war?
No. Payback.
Turnabout is fair play.
Turnabout is fair play.
Okay. Got it.
Good morning.
Some mornings right now I just I hop out of bed and I'm ready, and then some days I'm like, take a shower, take a shower, take a shower, and then eventually I take a shower.
This morning felt like a little bit of a slog.
I think I'm probably ovulating.
The 4 days each month that just introduce a little tiny bit of, am I going to murder you or are we going to make out? There's just a little tiny bit. It's a very, very thin line.
That is an accurate
Should I punch you immediately in the neck, or should I kiss this small part below your ear?
This morning, we were both working out in the garage gym at the same time.
Yes, we were.
I wish I had recorded it.
Go ahead and record it.
I will.
Go ahead.
You are so loud with your grunting and your lifting and your breathing. So loud, you guys. I'm wearing AirPods. I have my music up to the highest heights.
She pulls her ear pods out and she says...
I had maintained silence for 15 minutes and I could not handle it.
Well, there's only one thing I can say to that.
No, it's not sexy. It's not sexy. It's
Honey.
like it's for a crunch. For a crunch, you guys.
Here's the thing, though. I am getting my fitness on. She takes her ear pods out and she's like, you are making so much noise. And I thought she was telling me, in case you're embarrassed about it, I just want to bring it to your attention. And I literally, immediately from my mouth, I said, I don't care. Because I was like, I am getting it was an ab day. I don't want to do abs at all.
You think that the grunting makes it easier? It's so... You're the guy at the gym. Remember you guys, when you go to the gym.
I was the guy at the gym. I'm in the gym.
And there's a guy that's way too dramatic about lifting up the weight. That's him, except I'm married to him, and we've been in quarantine for 3+ weeks now. It's just so much time. It's so much time together. And I just need you to know that when you're lifting.
When you hear that sound, though, don't you think, wait a second, is there a six-pack forming?
No, I think, is there a cow giving birth?
Don't you think, wait a second, I love the fact that this man is committing to making his body a sculpture.
Here's my problem. We have been together for almost 18 years. Because next month will be 16 years of marriage.
16 good ones, 18 years together.
Okay. We have been together for almost 18 years.
Yes.
Never in the entirety of our relationship have you grunted during workouts. It's a new thing.
You know why it's a new thing?
You saw it somewhere.
There's some muscles there's some muscles emerging during this quarantine that I didn't even know existed.
No.
Yes.
You've created a whole new thing for yourself in the quarantine workouts, which is the grunting guy.
No.
It's a new thing.
Well, it's a thing that's here to stay.
If it had someone just said it happened because I cut your hair. I created some kind of gym monster.
By the way, if you were wondering what kind of sound does a guy with this haircut make, how you doing?
No, I just need you. Look, I don't care if you make the noise, but if you were making the noise across the gym that still is coming in over the top of my blasting
Your music isn't loud enough.
No, I was hurting my eardrums. It was so loud.
The thing is, when I turn around and I look in the mirror as I'm lifting something and I'm not making a sound, but I have this haircut, it feels disingenuous. It feels inconsistent with my personal brand with this thing that you've created?
Everything. It's just all the noise. All right, it's Trivia Wednesday, everybody.
It's not Trivia Wednesday. We got a first. I thought we were talking to Trent.
Oh, shoot.
Can we talk
Is
to
he
Trent?
here?
Hold on. Let's see if Trent
gosh,
is here.
how embarrassing.
Hold on. Where is he?
He had to watch that the whole time?
Well, we're bringing Trent Shelton into the old Instagram world. He's a very, very awesome human being, and he's going to talk to us about perspective. Am I yelling again? I'm so excited.
What is happening?
There he is. There he is. Trent,
What's up?
Oh, man.
Oh,
Save this show.
do you yell in Maria's ear like Dave yells in mine all day?
Absolutely.
How are you, brother?
I'm doing good. How y'all doing? I'm just
Good.
in quarantine in my garage right now. Just got finished working out, so trying to survive it.
Are you and Maria getting on each other's nerves? Like we're starting to get on each other's nerves?
Absolutely.
That's why you're out in the garage?
Yeah, man. So we just gotta, we're all going through times where we never been in before. So it's actually bringing us close together, understanding each other more. And so I just got to make sure I set up my day to protect my peace, and same with her.
Amen.
All right.
We're not doing that. We're not doing a good job of that.
We are doing a fine job.
No, I mean, like the idea of protecting your peace is probably
we need to work out at separate times.
That's exactly right.
Well,
Yeah, I'll make sure I get up earlier before everybody else.
Everything that's wrong in our marriage.
Yeah.
Thank you, Trent. I appreciate that. Trent did a podcast last week on the Straight Up podcast, which is out every single Wednesday. Today happens to be Wednesday. Good work. I want you to tell us what this week is about. But also, last week happened to be about perspective. We are in a next 90-day challenge, Trent. I think you're familiar with this, where we're talking about perspective. Will you drop just a little bit of your wisdom on this topic for this community that might change the way that they think about what they are seeing in this world that's full of scary, scary things right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Perspective is everything. And the thing about perspective, thing that I realize is that everybody on here watching this right now, including myself, Rachel, and Dave, we're all in control of our perspective, right? We can't control what goes on in the world necessarily. We might can influence it, but we necessarily can't control certain things. And so I know in my life, the problems when I embody stress, doubt, fear, it's when I'm trying to control the things that are out of my control. Or I'm living in a what if mentality, meaning like, what if my business fails? What if I get sick? And the thing about what if that I learned is that what if will never bring answers to your life, it just bring anxiety to your soul. It will never bring any type of conclusion, and it just bring a lot of confusion to your life. And so for me, perspective, it can be two things. It can be your power, or it can be your prison. And if you're in a prison perspective, that means that you're probably watching this right now and saying, oh, that's easier said than done. You don't understand my situation. And you're focused on everything that can go wrong. Your power perspective is that you're saying, no matter how hard it may be, it's impossible, but I'm going to see the beauty in this, whatever it is. Because if we just open up our eyes a bit, I tell this analogy all the time, and it's true. I'm not sure if it's raining a lot in Austin, but I know up here in Fort Worth, it's supposed to be raining all week, and it's been raining for the last week. And probably like 2 weeks ago, the trail that I hike, even my backyard, my front yard, the grass was completely dead. It was brown. Rained about 3 or 4 days in a row, storms, which sucked because I had to get wet. I couldn't go outside, couldn't do my normal routine, inconvenience. About 3 or 4 days during those storms, I go outside and it's full of greenery. And so the storm lets me know this, and I want y'all to understand right now in this moment of your storm, the storm is a new beginning. The storm produces new life. The storm produces new growth, but you have to embrace the storm, right? It can either build you or break you, and that's all about perspective, and I choose to let it build me no matter what.
That's good. That's good.
So good.
What is today's Straight Up podcast about, Trent Shelton?
So today's podcast is actually pretty good because I developed this with the family because, we're around each other, and I'm an introverted person, so I'm indoors, it's cool, but usually introverted means you're not really around a lot of people all the time. So I'm around my kids, a 3-year-old, a dog, all these, right? It's just crazy. And so I developed these releases because I know anything we suppress, anything we don't release, it's going to consume us. And so this podcast is about 5 releases I developed to help our family out. And so it's an energy release, which I'm doing right now, moving your body. A lot of the 90 days is about this. It's a creative release, meaning that this is not the time where you slow down. This is not the time where you, don't be creative. This is the time where you can be creative. Like nobody's judging you right now, so why not go all for it? Also, it's a intimate release, because intimacy means closeness. And so this for me is hugging my daughters, hugging Maria, just to let each and every one, even myself, hugging my dog. So let's know we're all safe in this unsafe time. Another release is the solitude release. And I think this is big. I think especially in relationships, in marriages, even with your kids, but giving the people in your life their alone time. And so for Maria, for example, she's obviously nursing, she's mama, she's wifey, she's the cook, she's all these things. And so I'm doing my best to say, hey, for 45 minutes to an hour, like, do nothing. Go to sleep, play Animal Crossing, whatever you want to do, read a book, go outside and take that time for yourself, because we all need a time to disconnect. Because if we're always on, we all know we can end up burning out and frustration is being caused. So that's pretty much the podcast about. I'm trying to implement this with my kids also and everybody in the house. And when we do it, when we go 5 for 5, it's a good day. When we go for about 1 for 5, it's a little bit stressful day.
So real. So real.
I just wanted to let you come in here and light some people up for a second, because you've been such a light in our life. But you, of anyone, if you are someone who in this week of perspective is interested in someone who is always challenging people to think differently about what they see, this guy right here, Trent, he's become an amazing friend to both of us and our family, but also he is someone who, on the days when I'm struggling with perspective, he's the guy that I'll turn to, because, man, you're always speaking right to the thing I need to hear. So I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, bro. And I'm going to say one last thing about perspective, if I can. Life is not always about what happens to you. It's about how you respond to what happens to you.
Yeah.
And I want you to understand that. All right, things are going to happen, but guess what? You can respond in a different way. That's in your control. That's in your power. So respond with greatness, and y'all crush these next 90 days. I'm going to be with y'all.
Yeah. Thank you so
Right
much,
Trent.
Thanks,
brother.
We love
Appreciate
you.
it.
Said hi. We'll talk soon.
Let's get it.
All right. See you, bud.
Bye.
All right, honey.
You know what I think, real quick, what I think is really interesting, I was thinking about this as he's talking, is that there is no, right now, there is no real sort of release from, like, typically when you're trying to hype yourself up or get yourself into a state where you're feeling good, or maybe you're having a hard morning, right? And you have to, like, get yourself to the right place. There's no release from that right now. Do you know what I mean? Like 3.5 weeks of every single day having to get yourself to that place is what makes it feel hard, because there's there's not necessarily a distraction from the fact that you have to do this every day.
Well, it's like this morning, we got up in that first hour of our morning, we read, which was lovely. But transitioning from reading to going out to the garage gym, I'll be honest, I was not interested in doing it, but I am committed to it. I've been doing a lot of push-ups, and my body is sore from having done so much push-ups work that I was like, you know what? I don't know if I want to do it today. And then I went and put my shoes on and just said, forget it, I'm gonna go do it. And I had to, in the same way that you have leaned on music, I put Muse on. And that was the first song that I listened to, because like there are certain songs that each of us inevitably have that are kind of go-tos. And that first song was a song where I was like, all right, I'm going to flip a switch. But I didn't feel like it. I really didn't feel like it. And I think, one, like if you don't feel like it, that's normal. Like you got to be okay in this season to acknowledge that you are not going to feel every single day of this 90-day challenge you're not going to feel like doing all 5 of the things. But if you can find a mechanism to flip the switch, if it's that you got to listen to Trent Spitfire for 90 seconds on his Instagram page, or pull up some quote that you like, or listen to Muse screaming into my ears that they will not control you. And the they in this case was a quarantine, will not control the way I feel. I was able to snap into a 45-minute workout that I did not want to do. Now, here's the good news. I feel great now after having done it. I'm sure that you feel better having moved your body, but it's like whatever you need to, lean on. Like for sure, don't feel bad about not feeling motivated every single day inside of this environment, because it's just impossible to stay motivated. But also, if there are ways, if you do fall off, to get back on faster because of music, because of someone that you like to follow online, lean on those things.
Well, and I think too, there are days where I don't feel like it. and I do it anyway, and I still don't feel like it.
Yeah.
And I want to acknowledge that, because most of the time, 95% of the time, if I do sort of my routine, I know all the tricks, I know the music, I know, like, if anybody knows the hacks to get themselves to a sort of positive, energized place, man, you are looking at her. But there are still days, usually it's when some kind of hormones are going on in my body, but there are still days where I'm like, I did the workout, I moved my body, I did my morning routine, I did my gratitude, and I still don't feel like I would normally feel at this time of day.
Was it my grunting?
It might be your grunting.
It might have been my grunting.
But it's more that I just keep going through the routine. And
I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to turn the song up. I thought it was paused.
I keep going through my routine, and that there's a point in the day where it clicks, where you do start to feel better, where you do sort of work through the hormones or the whatever is going on inside of you. You just have to force yourself to do it. You know, Gretchen Rubin, I'm interviewing Gretchen today for next week's podcast, but Gretchen has this quote that I love that says, act the way you want to feel. Yeah. Act the way you want to feel. And so in the absence of your typical trigger or cue working for you, I just keep going through my daily rituals. I just keep going through my routine. I just keep doing the thing. And eventually it just clicks. I don't know how to explain it. And so I do want to acknowledge, if you're like, I'm doing the things and I still don't feel better, and I'm still annoyed with my husband, I'm still frustrated, or I'm still freaked out, or I'm still having anxiety, or I'm still whatever, just keep to your routine. Just keep to, that is the anchor in a season. You know, we keep talking about this idea of a storm. When a ship is at sea in the middle of a storm, these rituals and these habits are the things that anchor you to who you want to be, not what the circumstances make you feel like.
Yeah. I've written it down every day that I am going to make the most out of this time. And one of the things that I am working on is a next book. And I don't know if I'm going to finish anything that is, you know, like part of a next book, but I am going to still write on it every single day. And I've been writing on it. And I will tell you, it is hard right now to feel motivated when all of the things I was excited about for the book that just came out have in some ways been compromised by this storm, to feel as motivated about writing something next. But I am still putting words into a computer every single day, because I believe, like you are saying, that one day it will just start to click and I will hit a stride and it will become a thing that I am like, yep, I am here for, even though it feels a little bit harder to do it right now.
Valeria said something that I want to comment on. She said, in my case, the hardest part of this situation is not knowing when it will be over. Does that make sense? Yes. And in fact, I taped next week's lesson. I taped it yesterday, and I spoke on this subject. It'll be available on Monday in your learning portal if you're doing next 90 days with us, which you should, because it's totally free. But I talked about this idea of, when you say, when is it going to be over? When you say, when does this end? What you are really asking is, when do I get my life back? What you are really asking is, when does it go back to the way that it was before? And the really hard truth, and I'm so sorry that you have to hear this, and I'm sorry that this is true, but none of us are getting back the life that we had before. Not one of us will come out of this situation as the same person, as the same couple, as the same family that we went into it. And the reason there's discomfort, and the reason that there's frustration, anxiety, and sadness and anger, all of these negative emotions, it's happening because you're grieving the loss of what was,
or trying to cling to,
and it's not a thing. So the only way that, because next week is about joy, and the lesson I was teaching was on how do you find joy even in a hard season. You find joy in a hard season by anchoring yourself to this present, to this moment, to this day. That is truly the only thing that you can hold on to, because the future is uncertain, which gives us anxiety. Worrying about the future is where anxiety comes from. Worrying about the past or dwelling on the past is where depression comes from. You have to be centered into right now, today. Focus on what you've got today. That is truly the only thing that you can cling to in this season.
I will say this also, if there is a gift in this, because I also have struggled with the what if and the how long questions. Those questions existed before this happened. You just believed that you had control when you never, ever had control.
Preach.
And so the gift, if you can see it as that, of this time is that you are being shown the truth of what has always existed, which is an absence of control. You have never had control. There was never anything that you could actually control. And so in the gift of seeing the absence of control, we get to appreciate what we have today.
Yep.
We get to focus on how we generate joy and how we can be grateful and how we can show up well today, because we don't have control over anything. Even after this virus is gone, your control will not return. It's a blessing if you can see it that way.
Lots of people are asking about next 90 days. You go to theholliscode.com. Right there at the top is a big banner that says next 90 days. Press it, and then you give us your email address and you're signed up. You get access to the learning portal, all of the free content. We're doing this for the next 3 months. Just having weekly themes and providing content, and hopefully creating a community of people who are into the idea of living this next 90 days intentionally instead of from a place of fear. Keep fighting to get back to the centeredness and knowing who you are and knowing how the best version of you would likely respond to this situation or come through this situation. Honey, can we do trivia?
Yes, I did misspeak. I said there were 13 weeks of programming.
14.
There are 14 weeks of programming.
More than 90 days.
So here's the thing.
It's through 4th of July.
If you thought, you know what, I don't want to do a free program for 13 weeks. Does 14 weeks of free programming sound better to you? Why wouldn't you join this? I don't understand. Can we do some trivia?
Here we go.
Hold on. This is my favorite part. This is the part where I start grunting in the can. Hold on. Where is it? Here it comes. Here it comes. Ladies and gentlemen, get out of your chairs. Believe you're going to have a good day right now. Here we go.
Okay, trivia. Come on, here we go.
In the middle of the best part.
What were we going to do? Muse for... Okie dokie.
I could go on forever.
The sleeping giant can be found off the coast of which Canadian city?
Oh. Vancouver, British Columbia.
Thunder Bay, Ontario. The rock formation was voted one of the 7 wonders of Canada.
Oh, I didn't know Canada had 7 wonders.
Me either.
The people are so nice in Canada. They have like 9.8 million wonders. That's the population of Canada. Which Christian feast? Sorry. Please hold. Which Christian feast does the carnival in Rio de Janeiro end on? Scrove Tuesday, Pentecost, or All Saints Day?
All Saints Day.
Honey,
Pentecost.
it's Scrove Tuesday.
Oh, I for sure did not know
Also
that.
known as Mardi Gras, literally Fat Tuesday.
Alrighty. Didn't
Okay.
know. Didn't
All right,
know.
here we
Okay,
go.
your turn.
0
What
for 0.
director has credits that include Roger and Me and Sicko?
Michael Moore.
Whoa!
One
How'd
for
you
me.
know that?
I know everything
Okay.
about movies.
Okay.
What is the name of Harry Potter's owl?
Oh, people are going to be so mad right now. I've never read Harry Potter.
Neither have I.
His name is Hootie and the Blowfish.
That is correct. No, his name is Hedwig, of course.
Oh, man.
Of
People are going
course.
to send me angry letters.
Hedwig.
Which country boasts the oldest continuous monarchy? Japan, United Kingdom, or Vatican City?
Ooh.
Feels pretty obvious.
It does feel pretty obvious. Vatican City?
Japan!
Dang it, when you said it was obvious, I changed from Japan.
Japan is the most obvious choice. Japan, the Imperial House of Japan dates from 660 BCE.
Ah.
Your turn.
In 2008, what founder of social media platform became what founder of a social media platform became the world's youngest self-made billionaire at the age of 23? Marcus Zuckerberg of Facebook. That is correct.
What does the bird say in Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding?
Caca!
Nevermore. Quote the Raven, nevermore.
Oh, well,
Your turn.
I think technically caca is
Nope.
in Raven speak nevermore. Okay. Shakespeare named his son which of the following names? Hammett, Henry, Hamlet, or Hammock?
Did you just make stuff up? Is that made up?
Nope.
Henry.
His name was Hamnet. Hamnet. Hamnet? Hamnet.
I didn't even know Shakespeare had a son.
I did make up the hammock part. That wasn't a part of it. Hamnet.
What is the species created by the mating of a male donkey and a female horse?
That's a mule.
You are correct.
Hee-haw.
Your turn.
What's more than 100 years after... Gosh, I can't see with my contacts in. More than 100 years after she wrote them, Marie Curie's notebooks are still radioactive. True or false?
True.
That is true.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
Okay, dog mushing is the official sport of which state?
Alaska?
You are correct.
Come on, Alaska. What women's sport has 5 players on a side divided into blockers, jammers, and pivots?
Women's sport has 5 players on a side, divided into blockers, jammers, and pivots. Water polo.
I think it's a Friends episode. Roller derby.
derby.
Oh.
Dang it.
I don't know if we were keeping score at home, but I believe I'm the champion of this
All right, so it's
illustrious
1-1.
version. It's
because I
1-1.
won last week.
1-1. Ladies and
It's
gentlemen.
quarantine trivia, everybody.
Wednesday.
Have a fantastic day. Go listen to Trent's podcast. Go listen to our podcast.
Go live your very best life.
Live your very best life. Act the way you want to feel. We love you. We'll see you here tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day.